Hello, educators. Welcome to Strategy Sunday. I am Carla Boswell-Lewis, CEO of Strategic Educational Consultancy Services. I am a passionate, dedicated, and selfless educator on a mission to empower you, educators. Last week, I started a three-part series on influencing students positively as a means of aligning them for success. I invite you to watch that video, which was done last week. This week, I will be focusing on building healthy, productive learning environment. It is very important, educators, to have a healthy, productive learning environment. Why? It helps students to learn soft skills and team building approaches, which is needed in the work world today. It also helps them to acquire higher motivation, thus leading them to success. And finally, it shifts the focus from being individualistic to cooperative. Educators, there are many students who have left high school with 8, 9, 10 subjects, ranges 1 and 2, excellent marks, which has shown that they have demonstrated and grasped the content that they would have learned. However, when they get into the work world and they're now required to shift the mode to working in a team, sharing their knowledge, they find it difficult to do so. Why is this so? It is so because schooling has cultivated within students the idea that they should be individualistic, hiding the knowledge that they have. Educators, you'd have heard me mention very often about brain-based learning. Brain-based learning, that aspect, it helps students to be able to share information. The more they share the concept, the more they tell someone about it, the more they explain it. It is now wired and processed within the brain, and it is stored in long-term memory, which makes it easier for them to retrieve it when it is needed. And so one of the most effective approach that helps educators in developing that healthy, productive learning environment is cooperative learning. Within cooperative learning, it's a strategic approach in that there are strategic methods, techniques, and strategies that can be utilized to help students to develop that level of influence, that level of cooperative learning that they need as they work together as a class. And so this week I will be sharing with you 3 tips on how you can go about helping students as you develop this positive learning environment. The first one is team building. Now, the idea of team building is to help the students to gel together as a team, for them to understand each member within the team. Even though they're going to be required to work as a team, they're learning items about each individual. How can this be done? There is an activity called Tell the Truth. And so each member within the group will document 3 things that are true and 1 thing that is false. And so each member shares this information, and the others will vote whether they think number 1 is the truth, number 2 is false. And then at the end of them voting, the team member will now read through all the information that is there, the 3 things that are true and the 1 thing that is false, and they will clarify so that the team members will know exactly which is which. Now, this is an excellent gelling activity which will help them to learn about each other. There is also another activity that could be utilized, my favorite things. So you're getting them to talk to each other. What is it that they enjoy doing? What is it that they love to do during their spare time? You know, different things, race cars, their hobbies, you know, what their future plans are. It is helping them to gel with each other and to understand each other as they work together as a team going forward. The second tip that I will share with you is referred to as class building. So the students have now moved out of that cooperative setting in which they will be working together as a team, and they are now going to be listening to others within the class about information on, you know, each member within the class. And so what it does, while it is helping the students to learn about their classmates, it is also helping you, the teacher, to learn about your students. And once you are learning about your students, you're able to exert positive influence. You now know how to strategize your planning to meet their different needs. And so one such could be People Hunt, in which they have some statements and they're going to be searching for individuals who have completed these statements. And yes, it can work within the physical setting, especially for schools that have now been reopened, or even if it is virtual, it can be done. And so they will ask each member, maybe who has a grandmother who is 90 years old, who has ever been to the United States of America, who has had a family member who had COVID, who enjoys social studies class, different things that they're finding out about each other. They don't have to move around the class. They don't have to get into each other's space. An individual could read the question, and those who would have completed that task or that statement or have done it would just raise their hand or say their name, and it would be documented. And so at the end of it, you go through the information as the teacher within the classroom, and then each member will be able to share what they have. This is an excellent gelling activity as well for the class. It could also be a treasure hunt, in which you are asking the students to find something around the home that is pink, that is hard, that is white, that is soft. So the idea is to get them moving from their seats, just moving from the screen and walking around, physical exercise while completing an activity. And at the end, they'll be able to share the information with the class, and each member will be learning about the different students within the classroom. Remember, your classroom is a family setting, and so you want to know that which is relevant and important so that students are able to relate to each other within that context, and as well for the teacher, you the teacher, to be able to learn more about your students. The final tip is building self-esteem and self-efficacy in students. This is important because you're helping them to have confidence in themselves. Educators, you are in the classroom. So you know the students who have difficulty answering a question, those who have difficulty when you ask them to do something, they're not exerting that confidence. And so you want to encourage them. And the best way that you can encourage them is to assign roles to them. So you may have a student who marks the register, whether virtually or physically. You could have a student that types up the assignment in the chat and share it with the others, send it to their email. You could have a student share their screen while you are teaching, and so they are able to move the slides for you, play the video. The idea that you're bringing to the student is to show them that you're pretty much involved in what I am doing, and the student will not even realize that you're building their confidence. It could also be for them to be in charge of an activity. They could be the care coordinator for the day, ensuring that the students have completed their assignments and submitted it on time. Remember when I shared with you last week about that motivational task. You, as the educator, you lead the way. So you demonstrate to the students how this motivational task or tip or activity will work. And then thereafter, according to your context, whether you would have selected for it to be done each week, each month, or for the content that you're going to be teaching them for the time, you are now going to be asking a student that you see fit to develop their self-esteem to share that tip, to be in charge of that aspect of it. And so you are helping the student along the way to develop positive influence over themselves, over their classmates, and also excellent leadership skills. So for this week, as you go out, these are actionable tips that you can share, that you can practice to help you to develop that healthy, productive learning environment that is needed in this time, this new normal, and also to help your students by aligning them for leadership and for success. If this video was beneficial to you, and if you liked what you heard, go ahead and like the video. If you feel that there is a friend or educator who could use this type of information, go ahead and share the video. And if you want to get more videos with this kind of information, and if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much, viewers and subscribers, for liking the videos, watching and commenting. It is really helpful, and I trust that it would have been helping you along the way. So why not continue to share your thoughts in the comment section. See you Thursday for Analysis Thursday. Strategic Educational Consultancy Services, empowering educators.